possible.
Welcome everyone. We're about to start the press conference of the launch of the Horizon Europe program. And I will give the floor to Minister Manuel Heitor.
Good afternoon to everyone. We have just concluded a long but very productive working day, bringing together members of the European Parliament, research ministers, members of national and European parliaments, but above all, researchers, business leaders, and certainly under the leadership of Commissioner Maria Gabriel, we could have a very energetic day, I will say. And this is important because we live unprecedented times, and it was very clear that it is with more science and certainly more quality and excellent research and innovation that we can challenge and face the issues we'll all live certainly in the pandemic, but also to prevent future pandemics. And it is because we know very well in Europe that science creates markets and else creates jobs, and we need more and better jobs always, but also because science brings the only way we have to advance in the new frontiers of knowledge. And we need more ideas across different institutions in different European regions. And we know from the last decades that is with more science that we can also build a better cohesion across European regions. Last but not least, we know that to create markets and more jobs and to foster new ideas, we need scientists. Overall, Europe needs more scientists in the public and in the private domain. And the conditions enabled by Horizon Europe has been over the last years, but will be certainly in the next 7 years, particularly critical for facilitating and improving research conditions for scientists in Europe. And these three priorities, the relations with employment, the relation with ideas and new ideas, but also the improvement of research careers, have been the priorities of the Portuguese presidency, so well documented in the idea of a renewed European research area with a stronger Horizon Europe program. This is a new program, is the largest ever European framework program, which certainly succeeds the previous framework programs, but will face Europe with a new scientific culture, the one that we really believe and want to pass to future generations. Let me thank you again for your participation, and above all, to Commission Maria Gabriel to help us putting together, certainly with the European Parliament, this unique framework program for the years to come. Thank you, Maria. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister Hayter, dear Manuel. First of all, thank you to you and your team for having organized this wonderful event on our ambitious European Research and Innovation Program. I'm sure that our researchers and our innovators received key information to get ready for their participation in Horizon Europe and make their ideas happen. Yes, in current times, we cannot underestimate the leading role European research and innovation have for our future. Without them, we would, for example, not have the best means to test, to treat, and prevent the coronavirus. That was said today many times, but yes, we are all proud that the European R&I funding has supported European companies like BioNTech and CureVac to develop the new generation of vaccines. And we'll continue to address our most urgent needs through Horizon Europe. It is an embodiment of our common belief that research is pushing Europe forward and making all European policies stronger and more effective. It will strengthen our scientific and technological basis, develop solutions for healthier living, drive digital transformation, and fight climate change for our collective resilience. Now, our commitment is evident first in Horizon Europe's budget, around 95 billion. Even with only 27 member states, it still represents a 30% increase vis-à-vis the previous European Research and Innovation Program, Horizon 2020. Out of this budget, over 35% of spending will contribute to climate objectives for a greener future. I'm also proud to say that this new program has been co-designed together with researchers, innovators, and citizens around Europe so that it targets issues that matter most, thereby also making it the first European program that we designed together. When Europeans understand, approved, and own European policy, it becomes their policy and it becomes successful. Now, as you said it, dear Manuel, Horizon Europe builds on the success of Horizon 2020 and improve it even further, namely by fostering stronger support to breakthrough innovation through the European Innovation Council, by creating more concrete impact through European missions, and by streamlining the R&I partnerships landscape. Overall, the program is structured along 3 pillars: excellent science, global challenges and European industrial competitiveness, and innovative Europe. The 4th component, widening participation and strengthening the European research area, aims to encourage participation, decrease the R&I gap, and strengthen the R&I capacity of all member states and European regions. Now the program drives scientific excellence through the European Research Council, empowered via a more significant budget to enable our excellent researchers to push the frontiers of knowledge. The Marie Skłodowska-Curie fellowships and exchanges will help young researchers to expand on their knowledge and skills, and the program will also invest in world-class research infrastructures. Horizon Europe will support collaborative research as well relating to our societal challenges and reinforces technological and industrial capacities to thematic clusters that address the full spectrum of global challenges. For the first time, Horizon Europe will have a strong focus here in this context of the clusters on culture and creativity, and I think that it's a very important new element. And it will contribute here to the protection of Europe's unique cultural content and cultural richness. The program also supports the transformation and structural innovation required in key value chains, thus contributing to achieving European technological sovereignty in critical domains. As, as the novelties were announced today, allow me just to put an accent very briefly on them. The program will introduce new features called the European Innovation Council and European missions. First, the European Innovation Council is a new element that brings a radical new approach to support innovation in Europe. As a first step, the EIC is not funding collaborative projects. Instead, it is funding startups. And as a second step, it has also moved from providing traditional non-refundable grants to provide venture capital style funding, taking direct equity in the startups. European missions will focus on achieving ambitious, time-bound goals that are important to all of us. 3 million lives will be saved by cancer up to 2030 through the cancer mission. Regions will adapt to climate change. 100 climate neutral cities will be achieved by 2030. Healthy seas and oceans, as well as healthy soils and food, will be ensured. And these 5 missions are not only concerning Horizon Europe, but also other European programs, as well as national and regional programs going beyond research and innovation. Another novelties of the program is the new approach to European partnerships. Very briefly, their number has been reduced from over 120 in Horizon 2020 to just 49 in Horizon Europe. And the purpose is to have them more targeted, covering critical areas such as energy, transport, biodiversity, health, food, and circularity. But these are not the only novelties of the program. With Horizon Europe, we also aim to accelerate international cooperation and brain circulation, building new bridges between the EU and the most RNI advanced countries and regions of the world, as well as those in need of a helpful hand from the EU to improve their RNI capacities. Second, to further improve gender equality and gender mainstreaming in science, we need female talent on board and have their voices heard. 3, to reinforce openness with open access to publications and open access to research data ensured. And to further simplify rules and cutting red tape for beneficiaries. Finally, to improve synergies. It's crucial to improve synergies with other European programs and policies, such as with Cohesion Fund and Erasmus+, to promote faster dissemination at national and regional level and uptake of research and innovation results also through our Horizon Results platform. Now, we are finalizing Horizon Europe strategic plan, which will define the targeted impacts through RNI actions and will highlight how the program will contribute to European political priorities, address societal challenges, and add value to citizens, for societies and business. And this plan is the result of a co-creation and co-design process again, and will underpin Horizon Europe's work programs over the next 4 years. In conclusion, allow me just to say that with Horizon Europe's first calls for proposals planned to be published in spring, I strongly encourage researchers and innovators to prepare their participation, especially in its novel features, such as European missions and all the others that I already mentioned here. Thank you very much again. That was a very good day for research innovation in Europe. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Commissioner. Just before starting our questions and answers, let me just remind journalists online that if you wish to pose questions, please use the raise your hand tool on your platform so that we know. And let me also remind everyone that you should pose your questions in English. So let us start. And the first question goes to the Portuguese news agency Lusa. Joana Gomes, please.
Good afternoon. So my question is for Minister Manuel Heitor. I want to know what will be the application of the Horizon Europe program in Portugal specifically. what projects will be applied this program? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. This certainly is an European event. And the important issue is that Horizon Europe, as previous European framework programs, are based on merit, on excellence, and essentially they foster a competitiveness nature along issues. So we don't know which will be the projects. We want to compete, as always, with the best in Europe. And that is also our message for every country, for every single region in the European continent. Work with the best, compete always in terms of merit and quality, and look for research excellence and innovation capacity. That has been always the formula that Portugal and Portuguese institutions follow. Actually, Portugal has become very successful in attracting funds from the previous European frameworks, particularly Horizon 2020, in terms of the relative income facing the capacity to attract funding, but always by building capacity, by articulating national and European fundings, and always trying to work with the best in Europe and having the capacity to compete for European funding. Thank you.
Madam Commissioner, would you like to add something?
Just one sentence to endorse what the Minister Hayter said. That was always the case. All the projects presented by Portugal, that was really in the name of excellence, to have these capabilities and capacities to show this strong leadership. So that's my wish, that today Portuguese researchers and innovators received the good information in order to prepare their project and use these new opportunities with the new elements in Horizon Europe, because that means a lot. We are here in order really to reaffirm our excellence in science, research, and innovation, but we're here to use the opportunities given by new instruments to build strong partnerships and to assure synergies for all our regions and for all our member states.
Thank you. Second question will go to the Swiss radio and television, Thomas Millerina, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Minister. Good afternoon, Commissioner. Switzerland attended today's event and will attend tomorrow ministerial. They say we are ready to start negotiations. The EU is basically now ready as well, as we have the program in place. So do you already have a date for the negotiation to start, or will that happen at least during the Portuguese presidency? And I would be curious to know also what's the situation with the UK. I guess there were no representatives of the UK today, or maybe I'm wrong. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for your question. Actually, during the meeting today, the Swiss Secretary of State, Martina Hirayama, has also launched this issue. And my words are essentially for remembering all of us how important has been Switzerland since the very first European framework programs. Switzerland has always worked together with all European member states in Europe at large. So I'm sure that will continue. Following other framework programs, there was initially at the beginning also small details, but then time was recovered. So I'm sure that the negotiations for third countries, in particular Switzerland, will move forward and will guarantee the full participation of Switzerland as in previous European framework programs.
Commissioner, please.
Very briefly, what I'd like to say that and Switzerland and UK are key partners for us. When we talk about Switzerland, our position didn't change. we have here the question of the institutional agreement. And I think that myself and my team, we are ready really to start the negotiations on association agreement as soon as possible. But before, we need to fulfill all the necessary rules. On UK, the next few weeks, that will be one of the questions when we talk about Article 12 in the New Horizon Europe program, and the association and UK already expressed this wish to participate. That's now a question of a very little of time to start, because again, what is important for us here is to preserve some of the strategic partnerships and to have the possibility to use the opportunities of new program as soon as possible.
Thank you, Commissioner. The next question will go to Research Europe. Craig, please.
Thank you. My question is about the prospect of delays raised by the European Parliament. Last week, Christian Ehler said that the Parliament might not sign off Horizon Europe legislation because they feel like they've been blackmailed by the Commission, or if they feel blackmailed by the Commission, around the legal basis. I wasn't sure if you meant for the Horizon Europe legislation or for the Brexit agreement and UK participation in Horizon Europe, but he did threaten that the Parliament might delay the Horizon Europe programme. And then today, Christian Busoy said that he thought Horizon Europe should be signed off without any delays. So my question is, do the Commission and the Council have any concerns about delays? And do you think the programme will start on time? And how soon do you think the legislation will be signed off?
Thank you very much for the question. What I can guarantee is certainly from the Portuguese presidency, the work together with the Commission and the Parliament has been very profitable, and I'm sure that we will guarantee all the necessary steps to make sure that there are no further delays. We should note that the first proposal from the Commission happened in 2018. So there are already 2 years of continuous dialogue, and we have achieved a very important conclusions last December. So I'm sure you need to give time to time, but I'm sure that all the necessary steps will be done on time, and from the Portuguese presidency team, we are fully engaged to make Horizon Europe happen as soon as possible, certainly under all the necessary legal steps. Thank you.
Commissioner?
Thank you very much for this question. First, we are working with the European Parliament extremely well, and they are fully aware what were all the different stages and how we negotiated this. They know exactly what were the delays, and now the question is how to tackle them as soon as possible. So that's my position, that together with my team, we are doing all our best not to have these delays and to follow the procedures as soon as possible, because today that was very clearly said, and we share this message since the beginning. It's time really now to show that our European Research Innovation Program, it's a driver for this digital and green transition, and that's why we need to assure the support for our researchers and our innovators. We have the right tools. We are trying really to do all our best to start as soon as possible.
Thank you. Final question will go to Antena 1, Raquel Mourão Lopes, please.
Hi, thank you. Well, having in mind this enormous challenge that has come up last year, I'm talking obviously about the pandemic, and also having in mind the important role that science has played, and helping us deal with the virus and finding solutions for it. I'm wondering if there is anything specific within the Horizon Europe, any specific program targeting investigation in this area, any specific financing for the investigation in the COVID-19 area, for vaccines, for treatments, anything specific? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will say that everything is related with the pandemics. From environmental research to cancer research, the world after COVID-19 will be certainly different from the world before COVID-19. And we also say We also know that these pandemics started in animals, it passed from animals to human beings, and the so-called zoonotic diseases is increasing as also a result of this imbalance between economic and social activity and nature. And therefore, as very much clearly pointed out in the last Human Development Report just published 1 month ago, it is clear that it's through a transdisciplinary approach towards speeding up green transition and using the opportunities of the digital transition that we also face the opportunities that science brings to face this pandemic, but also to prevent future pandemics. And Horizon Europe is about that. It provides funding across a wide diversity of instruments, of people, of institutions. And for instance, this afternoon, we have listened to Ugur Sahin, the president of BioNTech, a small startup now in Germany, and he was very clear to show how important was the consecutive funding of previous European framework programs in order that he succeeded in providing a vaccine that now has become critical to prevent COVID-19. And science is like that. Science requires time, and certainly today we are preventing COVID-19 with European science and fundings which were previously done. So we need to keep doing it across all areas of knowledge, and certainly attracting talent, building better research careers, building capacity across every single European zone. And this is important because Horizon Europe is certainly providing fundings to excellent research, but access to excellence should be open to every single European citizen in every single European region. And this is fighting for COVID and other future potential pandemics. Thank you.
Madam Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this question. Two things. First, as we all have seen during the last 1 year, Horizon 2020 contributed with 1 billion for fighting COVID-19. Now with the new Horizon Europe, we can see a clear contribution for every one of the 3 main pillars. Of course, we need to continue to support the European Research Council. That was the case with Ugur Sahin, who received a grant from EIC in 2008, and that was a strong base in order to accelerate very quickly the last few months. So we need to continue, and that will be the case. Second, in the second pillar of Horizon Europe, of course, we have now the cluster health, and every one of the different partnerships can contribute to fighting COVID-19. And one very precise idea is that I'm proposing to have a new epidemic preparedness partnership. So now it's time to discuss this with member states and to be more resilient and better prepared for future crises. Finally, the third pillar, that was already during this crisis, the huge contribution of European Innovation Council and European Institute of Innovation and Technology. And both of them, they will continue to contribute because we need our startups, we need our SMEs with breakthrough technologies and innovations in order to help us to produce more rapidly masks or ventilators, or just to use artificial intelligence in order to rapidly examine the different data that we receive in order to follow the new variants or what's happened. So definitely we'll continue. The question and the challenge this time is really to continue with this co-creation and co-design process with a coherent approach, building synergies between the 3 main pillars of the program and with other European programs. That will be the case with the European Health Program. That will be the case of the new Emergency Response Agency. I think that was raised today many times, and that's exactly in the spirit of the new Horizon Europe that will continue to promote our excellence, our leadership, and help our innovators, researchers, and startups to help us to better prevent from future crises.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. Thank you, Minister. Thank you all journalists for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Maria.
you. Thank you, Manuel.